I don't know how they do it. I'm amazed. I'm in shock. Everything you can imagine right now. WWE is deemed an essential business in the state of Florida. I still want to know how the fuck they pull this shit off. So, in case you guys don't know, this past Monday, early on before Raw, it was announced by the mayor of Orange County that WWE will be given the green light to continue to run their television program from the Performance Center. That's Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and all that stuff. Likely pay-per-views as well, as they have now been deemed as an essential business. Now, when I think of an essential business, I think of supermarkets, I think of restaurants doing takeouts and Uber Eats and stuff like that. I think of gas stations, I think of banks, more importantly, hospitals, right? These are what I consider an essential business, right? They're helping in some way, shape, or form everyone that are going through this pandemic that we're in right now. I want to know how WWE falls in that category. I just don't know how. Now, apparently the mayor of Orange County, Jerry Demings, had a press conference yesterday. This is per Fightful, and you guys know how I feel about Fightful, but fuck it, I'll just use it anyway. And quote, originally, they were not deemed an essential business, with some conversations with the governor's office regarding the governor's order, they were deemed an essential business. So the governor found a way to make this happen. Now, we know how Vince McMahon and the McMahon family have a connection with the government, how they are very good friends with Trump. I gotta believe in some way, shape, or form, they got involved and WWE is now an essential business. Don't be surprised if, hey, in reward, they get a WrestleMania out of it back in Orlando. Who the fuck knows, really, right? But it's also said here, Demings also said WWE is like a small family who will be self-policing during the pandemic. Deming did acknowledge that the positive cases of coronavirus within WWE during his comments as well. As you guys remember, there was a on-screen personnel within WWE who did test positive for COVID-19, and they were in self-quarantine. We don't know who it is yet. We don't know, but apparently that said person is now cured. It's cleared to go back to work, so there's that as well. Again, all this stuff is just so fucking insane. It's crazy how, again, they find a way to get it their way. WWE is like that annoying bitch that you just want her to shut up, right? No matter how much she bitches and moans, she'll always have her way to fuck you over, right? So, according also to apparently officials told CNN that the service was added as an essential business list because it's critical to Florida's economy. Yeah, let that sink in as well. But again, this is insane. This is nuts. But for Vince McMahon, the show will go on, right? Because Vince wants so badly to go live every single week or in some capacity. Now, last night's Raw, right, did not feel live to me. It felt pre-taped, right? That being said, who knows, maybe these are the last batches of pre-taped matches, but going forward, they'll be going live with Raw, NXT, and SmackDown on Friday. Again, at a time where I feel like the business, wrestling as a whole, needs to take a pause. Take a back seat for now. There's more important things going on in the world, but hey, per Vince McMahon, the show must go on, right? And if you're one of these diehard WWE fans, you will love this shit. You're going to think this is amazing. This is great. WWE overcoming adversity. And I guarantee you, wait for that DVD to come out. Wait for that documentary of Vince McMahon. Wait for that network special, right? For WrestleMania 36, because they always do them for every WrestleMania. I guarantee it's going to happen. Yeah, we had to overcome coronavirus. We had to overcome COVID-19. We had to overcome the state of Florida. And we overcame. We prevailed, if you will. It's going to happen. Okay? Anyway, you dorks and mother flowers, this is your Monday Night Raw review for April the 13th, 2020. As I'm recording this right now, it is Tuesday, April 14th, 2020. As I'm recording this right now, it is 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I want to thank all of you dorks and you sick, twisted mother flowers out there for watching this video. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button down below. Give the video a big old thumbs up, because why the fuck would you not? It does help out the video and the podcast in the long run, if you will. You can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven, where I tweet throughout all these shows, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, and so on and so forth. If you have not yet checked out this past weekend's episode of Around the Point, what are you waiting for? It is up in the video archives of the channel, or if not, is already available on the podcasting platform where Around the Point can be listened to, whether it is Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, Anchor, or over at Spotify, and as well over at okfabe.com, where I gave my thoughts on Ronda Rousey being the IWC Trigger Queen. How she is working everyone and everyone's falling for it. Where she talked about ungrateful fans and fake fighting and everyone just losing their shit over it. And how Ronda Rousey again is just playing everyone. And you're all falling for it. And I gave my thoughts on other topics as well. So again, if you have not checked that out, go give it a listen whenever you get a chance. So Raw last night, I'll say this overall, I enjoyed the show for what it was worth. We are going into Money in the Bank. We still don't know where they're doing the show from. Don't know where. For all we know, it could probably be at the PC. There are talks of it being in Baltimore, but being that this whole thing, this pandemic is still going forward. Meanwhile, here I am still waiting on that Donald Trump check. Being honest about it. Oh, you sellout. How dare you taking his money. Fuck that. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear it. Spare me. Don't want to hear it. Fake news. It is what it is. Anyway, like I did say, I did enjoy Raw. I did. For what it was worth. The build-up to Money in the Bank. Drew McIntyre's WWE champion. He feels like a star. He feels like a champion, in my opinion. Right? And in some way, shape, or form, Seth Rollins is in the mix for the WWE title. I don't know how, when he lost at WrestleMania to Kevin Owens. And you would think he's going back to the bottom of the card, but no. There he is in the picture at the end of the show. I am enjoying, believe it or not, the faction that we're seeing now with Zelina Vega being now the manager, if you will, for not only for Andrade, who's the U.S. champion. Angel Garza, who I have already said a long time ago, is money. That dude is what I feel should be the future Latin star. If WWE wants to grab or try to get the attention of the Hispanic community, right? You do it, Angel Garza, right? And of course with Austin Theory. So again, I'm cool with it. You can even say it's their take on Los Ingobernables from New Japan Pro Wrestling, as Andrade at one time was La Sombra. He was part of that faction in Japan as well, and in Mexico with CMLL. And also, we're also getting qualifying matches for the women's match for the Money in the Bank ladder match as well. So guys, give me your thoughts in the comments below. Did you enjoy the show or not? Let me know. Or if not, let me know on Twitter at HeelSteven. So the show kicked off with Drew McIntyre, the WWE champion, where he cut a promo thanking the audience for watching and noting the positive reception to his WWE championship win after commenting a highlight video of his defeat of the Big Show. Because again, they showed you this clip, right, where he beat Brock Lesnar, right? And then, oh no, that was not enough. We got to show you how he beat the Big Show. Yes, the Big Show main evented WrestleMania. Let that sink in. Let that marinate for a minute. The Big Show. The guy that has his own Netflix show that's ranked in the top 10. I don't know how. That show is fucking cringeworthy. The big show is the most cringeworthy shit I have seen on Netflix. Believe me when I say that. I have not yet seen Main Event. I will watch it. I will give it a fair shot. I will watch it with my little nephew, my little niece, because they love the little kids show from WWE. Why the fuck not? I'll watch it with them because I'm a cool uncle like that, believe it or not. I'm a cool uncle. And from there, I'll build my assessment. I'm willing to give it a chance. put it this way, I caved. I caved watching Tiger King. I said I was not going to watch it, but because this whole thing that we're in right now, fuck it. I watched all the episodes and stuff like that. But that's around the point, okay? But yeah, that big show got a WWE title match at the end of at WrestleMania, which Drew won. That's badass, right? When you think about it, yeah, you beat Brock Lesnar in the Big Show back to back. That's badass, bro. That's legend status right there if you're Drew McIntyre. And then out came Zelina Vega with Andrade, and you know where they're going with this, right? Andrade, who's the U.S. champion, trying to take a crack at Drew McIntyre because McIntyre is welcoming all challenges, right, for his champion. He could be a fighting champion, right? Oh boy, when the last time we saw a fighting champion? And then Zelina, like I said, came out with Andrade, reminding Drew what happened the last time Andrade faced Drew McIntyre. Want to go back to TakeOver, I want to say Rumble Weekend, not even Rumble Weekend, TakeOver War Games. TakeOver War Games in 2017, 2018, I think it was, where, yeah, it was War Games 2017, the first War Games match, right, that they did. And the NXT title match at that time was Drew versus Andrade. Drew was then the NXT champion. And I thought overall they had a good match at that time. And I even said to myself, you know what? Drew's going to win. And I was proven wrong. Andrade got the win. I thought it was a good match. And that's where Drew got injured when Andrade went for the hammerlock DDT. And Drew grabbed onto the ropes and fucked up his bicep. And it reminded Drew of that, which I thought was cool. The detail, the small attention to detail. I thought that was pretty cool. Go back in time and shit like that, right? And from there, we got the main event. Champion versus champion. Andrade, the U.S. champ, versus Drew, the WWE champ. And then Andrade spoke on the mic in his broken English, and there was that. Fine. A good main event to get excited for, if you will. Oh my gosh, Raw was kicking off to having a good start with the champion, how it should have been last week. But for whatever reason, last week they gave you Asuka versus fucking Liv Morgan, right? Versus Liv Morgan, which to me, again, that was coming out of Raw after Mania. You should have kicked off the show with Drew, but you didn't. I don't know why, but that's what it is. What it is. We then had the first Money in the Bank qualifier for the women's, right? We had Asuka versus Ruby Riott. The match was okay, but good back and forth for what it was worth. During the match, Ruby Riott was screaming at Asuka, I want the old Asuka. Where's the old Asuka? Not this new Asuka that we're seeing now. And what do you know? Asuka picked up the win via submission when she locked in the Asuka lock. So there was that. Again, Asuka now goes on and to the women's Money in the Bank ladder match coming up at Money in the Bank. We get an announcement from MVP from the VIP lounge. MVP announces that there'll be 3 Money in the Bank qualifying matches next week for the men. Next week, you'll see for the first time ever 3 matches that we've never seen before. We're going to get Rey Mysterio versus Murphy, right, for a Money in the Bank qualifier. You're going to have Aleister Black versus Austin Theory, which is, again, a fresh match we have not seen, and it's awesome. And then you have Apollo Crews, and per the words of MVP, versus an opponent that's an expert in ladder matches. I was thinking Jeff Hardy, believe it or not. And what do you know? It's him, MVP. So next week is MVP versus Apollo Crews. I mean, honestly, I would not be shocked if MVP got the win. At the same time, if you really want to elevate Apollo Crews, right? Everyone thought last week, oh yeah, he faced Aleister Black, had a good match. They're going to do something with him, and they obviously didn't. Why not have MVP manage Apollo Crews? Food for thought, but we'll see. So there's that. Again, 3 matches that I look forward to for Monday. Hey, you got me looking forward to next week's show. Believe it or not, just with those 3 matches alone. Okay? From there, we get Aleister Black versus Oni Lorcan, right? Oni Lorcan from NXT 205 Live, NXT UK. I'm assuming now he's part of the Raw roster. I could be wrong on that, but overall, I thought it was a very fun back and forth match. We know that Oni Lorcan can go. We know that he's able to go out there and have a good match with anyone on the roster. We know that already. And here was a good back and forth match. Lorcan got some good offense in this match as well. And its ability to, again, just take it to Aleister Black, which was amazing to me as well. Again, you're talking to someone that doesn't watch 205 Live. I don't watch NXT UK. I know he's part of the NXT roster. I know he was in a tag team with Danny Burch, right? I do remember that TakeOver match a couple months ago from TakeOver Chicago. I think it was Chicago 2. It was the Undisputed Era versus Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, where I think it was Danny Burch who took that bump on the apron. But again, it was a long time ago. But Aleister Black eventually got the win with the Black Mass kick. But again, a good showing from Oney Lorcan, just like last week with Apollo Crews. Now, again, do I see them really pushing Oney Lorcan on television? I hope so. But again, it's the main roster. I don't trust these fuckers as far as I can throw them. That's how serious it is right now. So again, when I see guys like Austin Theory, Oney Lorcan on the main roster, hell, even the Bianca Belair, it's like a part of me, as happy as I am to see them on the main roster, there's that part of me that feels like, ugh, what's the point? You know? Like, you know it's going to go to shit eventually. You just know it. So then from there we get highlights from Becky Lynch's match with Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania that they played, where, again, Becky Lynch beat Shayna Baszler. They label it her toughest match to date. She's now the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion, over a year. Becky came out and cut a promo on Shayna Baszler, saying that she was playing mind game with Shayna the whole time, and that whoever wins the Money in the Bank contract, she'll be waiting. That being Becky. Now, granted, they did mention on Raw that whoever wins will challenge their brand's champion. It's funny because last year, right, Brock Lesnar, hey, but he did cash in though, right? So I can't take. I gotta take that back. I gotta take it back. Because I was gonna say Brock Lesnar won Money in the Bank last year, but cashed in on Kofi. But no, he said he cashed in on Rollins. So I gotta take that back. But at the same time, though, I do feel like, if you win Money in the Bank, it should be your choice to see who you want to challenge, right? Just like, hey, it would be the Universal Champion, the WWE Champion, or hell, even the NXT Champion. Or if you're the women's, right, the Raw Women's Champion, or the SmackDown Women's Champion, or the NXT Women's Champion. Again, it should be your choice at the end of the day, in my humble opinion. So there's that. From there, we get a Vega and Andrade promo from backstage as well, hyping up the main event and all that stuff. And then we were going to get, I guess, Shayna Baszler and Sarah Logan. But before the match, Shayna Baszler was asked backstage how she felt about Ronda Rousey's recent remarks about wrestling, and Baszler didn't answer. Now, granted, she did post a tweet out a while ago. If I remember correctly, Shayna Baszler did leave out a tweet. And again, being that Shayna is Ronda's friend, of course she's going to show support for Ronda Rousey. If I can find the tweet out here right now, here it is. How dare Ronda care more about her family than pleasing fans that are never happy? That was a tweet that she put out. So there's that. But we get to the match. Before, it wasn't even a match, it was like a beatdown. Because what do you know? Shayna Baszler put the beating on Sarah Logan. And then she did this whole thing where Sarah's arm was like this and Shayna stomped on it. The visual was sick. You see Sarah Logan crying. Right? And for whatever reason, Mike Rome declared Sarah Logan the winner. To my understanding, if you can't continue, you lose the match. Mike Rome had one job last night. One fucking job, and he fucking blew it. I ought to smack the shit out of him. I'm just kidding. But there was that. So Shayna Baszler, along with Asuka, advanced to the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So there was that. All right. From there, we get we get a backstage segment with Seth Rollins. Said that Kevin Owens crucified his career at WrestleMania. So they're doing this whole thing where Rollins is all quiet. He's like in shock, right? He's like, Kevin Owens crucified his career at WrestleMania. Crucified him, basically. Again, he snapped last week in that match. So again, they're doing this whole thing with that. Again, especially with the ending of Raw, I don't know why he's in the mix, but I don't know. We get also Austin Theory versus Akira Tozawa. Again, being that again, he has Lena Vega on commentary for this match as well. And apparently Theory is calling his finisher the ATL. Theory after and again, obviously with this match as well, Austin Theory, they get the win. Again, he's facing Aleister Black next week, so you want to give him momentum before the inevitable happens. But at the same time as well, you got to factor this in as well. Akira Tozawa is competing next week, or this coming Wednesday on NXT, I believe, in the NXT Cruiserweight Championship tournament. Apparently now they're calling it for the Cruiserweight Championship, no longer the interim champion. So I'm assuming that Jordan Devlin had to vacate the title. I could be wrong on that one, but we'll see what happens with that. But you would think too with that, hey, you don't want to make him look bad either, because you want me to believe that, hey, Akira Tozawa has a fighting chance in the tournament. Now, this is a way to get him out of the tournament and add someone else. We'll see. But after the match, you had Angel Garza, you had Andrade come out with Theory to put the beating on Tozawa, which led to Andrade hitting the hammerlock DDT from the top apron on Tozawa. And there was that. Again, I am enjoying this faction with Andrade, with Theory, and Angel Garza. I'm all in for it. Awesome. Why the fuck not, right? After this, we get a clip from Drew McIntyre's episode on WWE Chronicle, which you guys should go check out. Honestly, go give it a watch. Also, backstage, Rey Mysterio cut a promo about his Money in the Bank match coming up with, I believe, coming up against Buddy Murphy. So there's that as well. And then from the same backstage area, Rollins assured that the audience that he is still the Messiah, right? He is still the Messiah, no matter what. We then get Angel Garza facing 2T Mile. If I butchered the name, I apologized, right? And again, you have Vega on commentary for this match, as beautiful as she is. And what do you know? Garza got the win, right? And I think he called his move the Wing Clipper. I think that's what he's calling the move. And after this, just like in the Austin Theory match with Tozawa, Andrade and Theory came out here and they put the beating on this enhancement talent guy. And again, to give Andrade momentum into his match. The Kabuki Warrior did a backstage interview backstage, and there was that as well, hyping up that later on in the night, Kairi Sane had to face Nia Jax in a qualifying match for the Money in the Bank. I think also it's cool for the fact that they're doing qualifying matches instead of doing these regular, hey, you're in the match, you're in it, you're qualified and shit. No, they're doing qualifying matches, which I think is also pretty cool to see. But we had a backstage promo with Drew McIntyre, reminding himself about the scar on his right arm or his left arm, one or the other, where the injury happened and all that stuff. He's reminded about the scar and how he's going to beat Andrade and stuff like that. Again, it's cool that, in my opinion, that they went back in time for this match, right? Remember what happened a couple years ago to get you now to look forward to this match, right? So there was that. We did get the Nia Jax versus Kairi Sane. And what do you think happened here? Did you really think that Kairi Sane had a fighting chance against Nia Jax? Hell fucking no. This was a squash. I don't know why, but there you go with that. It's funny because during the match, you had Asuka watching on a monitor trying to cheer on for Kairi Sane to no fucking avail. To no avail at all. So Nia Jax is joining Asuka and Shayna Baszler on the Raw side to be in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And now I look forward to see what's going to happen on SmackDown. Like, what will be the matches for SmackDown. We'll see what happens with that as well. This coming Friday. We then get Charlotte Flair, who entered the ring and cut a promo about her championship win at WrestleMania. How she belittled, in a way, Rhea Ripley. How, yes, she could have gone and challenged for the Raw Women's Championship or the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania, but instead, Rhea Ripley was the one who stepped up and challenged her and fell short. And how she's now at NXT to what's the word I'm looking for here? To show the NXT Women's Division humility. And she also went to reference her opponent coming up, Io Shirai. Now, I'm going to say this as well. I said this last week, I'm going to say it again. To me, I do not, and I repeat this right now, I don't want to see Io Shirai versus Charlotte on free television. No. If you're going to do the match, do it on a takeover. At this point right now, do it on a fucking takeover. Not at a live TV show on free television to boost ratings. No. This is a match you save for a takeover. And let them go out there and have an amazing match. Because I know that they will. Believe it or not. We then get Rollins again, and he tells the camera, that tonight he would stomp out all doubt. We all know what that meant. Bobby Lashley faced No Way Jose. And again, they showed a video from WrestleMania where Lashley lost because fucking Lana wanted Bobby Lashley to hit a spear on Aleister Black to hit a Black Mass kick for the loss. And they show a clip of how he said that, hey, he needs new management, a new wife. They're pointing out that there's trouble there's trouble at home, right? There's trouble in this marriage. Shit not going how it's supposed to be right now. And here we have No Way Jose and Lashley, and a match where obviously Lashley was dominating. And I think Lana was just chanting outside, No Way Jose, right? He was distracted twice during the match. But even with that, they tried to do this whole thing where No Way Jose had a hope and help by rolling up Lashley to no avail. But eventually Lashley did get the win. So there is that. But again, they're planting the seeds on eventual divorce. And no, I don't see Rusev coming back, so don't expect that to happen either. From there, we get the Viking Raiders versus Ricochet and Cedric Alexander, the DIY tag team, if you will, the put it yourself tag team, because they have nothing for these two guys. And the match was okay for what it was worth. The match was okay. Nothing crazy, but obviously at the end, the Viking Raiders, they get the win. They were former Raw Tag Team Champion. They were mentioning that as well. And they got the win. What else is new? We had the Street Profits versus, the Street Profits cutting a promo talking about, being Raw Tag Team Champions, how they respect the Vikings, stuff like that. And then Bianca Belair reminded them that, hey, they have never beat the Viking Raiders. And how they got to get serious and get the smoke. So there's that. Also, before I go any further, I know I didn't talk about it during the Tosawa match with Austin Theory. There was a moment, yes, where Jerry Lawler referred to a moonsault that Tosawa did as the ramen noodle moonsault. And people were so offended. How dare he say that? I get it. Yeah, it was terrible, right? It was terrible. It went unnoticed until hours, minutes after the show. Let me tell you, minutes after the show, after that even happened. Oh, how dare Jerry Lawler say that? How dare they, have him on commentary? He's a racist. He's a Trump supporter. This and that. I'll say this, and I don't mean to come off like a racist. I feel like if you were to tell me which was worse, right? The Jerry Lawler comment from last night, referring to Tosawa's moonsault as the ramen noodle moonsault, right? Or what Jim Cornette said on NWA Power, referring to Trevor Murdoch being so tough in Ethiopia and the bucket of fried chicken, right? I would say Jim Cornette was more worse, in my humble opinion. Okay? It's funny because even Cornette writing a tweet out 4 hours ago. So now people are mad at Jerry Lawler for telling a joke. Now I understand why modern wrestling sucks. Because most modern wrestling fans are such whiny little pussies that don't deserve good wrestling. How do these people go out in public without breaking out in tears? #whine. So people again are giving their thoughts on what he said. And again, listen, you got to remember, Jerry Lawler, many, many years ago, would say stuff like this on commentary, with all these jokes and with these lines, what have you, and it was sly. It was funny shit. And you know what? You can make the argument, oh yeah, times have changed now. Now, do I see them letting him go? No. To be honest with you, I'll be shocked if they do. Granted, technically, he shouldn't even be there right now. with the way the world is right now, he should be at home. But there's that. Then we get to the main event. Champion versus champion. Drew McIntyre versus Andrade, who's the U.S. champion. Drew is the WWE champion. And I thought overall they had a very good main event. For the time they were given, they went back and forth. There was a moment in the match where fucking Austin Theory grabbed the leg of Drew McIntyre. And Drew got out of the ring and just chopped the shit out of Austin Theory. And Theory went flying onto the fucking apron. What have you. And again, just a match where it was back and forth, but eventually Drew, with the Claymore kick, got the win. And once the match was over, you hear Rollins' music, right? And Rollins just, and again, there was an attack by Garza onto to McIntyre. And when Drew turned around, Rollins laid him out a super kick, then with the curb stomp, not once but twice. And then he stared at the WWE title. Like, he didn't even grab the belt, he just stared at it. He just gave it a stare and then just walked away. My take of this, okay, I get it. You want to add him to the mix. My thing is, why? He just lost at WrestleMania 2 weeks ago to Kevin Owens. How is he deserving of to be added into the championship? Yeah, you could put him in the mix, but to be given a championship match, now granted, we don't know if it's going to happen or not. I would assume so for Money in the Bank. But again, it would make no sense at all. In my humble opinion. Because again, he lost at WrestleMania to Kevin Owens. The world saw it. But that's WWE for you. And their way of creative. Overall, again, Raw, I will say this again, was a show that I thought was good. For what it was worth. Right? I like the fact that we're doing qualifying matches for Money in the Bank. I like the fact that we're in some way about to give a push to Andrade and his stable of Angel Garza and Austin Theory. If you're to ask me who is the star of that group in the long run, I will say Angel Garza. I'm happy for Austin Theory. Don't get me wrong. This is a guy that watched him in Evolve. And it's funny because if you ever watched him in Evolve, his promos would be like, oh, he's the real superstar. He's going to headline a takeover. And they skipped that. So there's that as well. All right. Guys, give me your thoughts in the comments below. Your thoughts on Monday Night Raw from last night. Did you enjoy the show or not? Let me know in the comment threads or let me know on Twitter. Again, guys, if you have not yet checked out this past weekend's episode of Around the Point, it's in the video archives of the channel. It's also available on all the podcasting platforms that Around the Point is on. That being Apple Podcast, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, Google Podcast, Anchor, Spotify, also over at okfabe.com. That is, again, Around the Point. Ronda Rousey, the IWC Trigger Queen. Go give that a listen whenever you get a chance. That being said, guys, I'm about to bounce. About to get some lunch. With that being said, guys, thank you for watching. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Stay safe. And to quote Filbert Turtle, turn the page, wash your hands. This has been Around the